Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary samurai. Undefeated in over 60 duels, he stands as Japan's greatest swordsman. After the Battle of Sekigahara, escaping death, he became a wandering ronin. Yet, he was more than just a fighter, he was a philosopher, an artist, a learned Buddhist. Before his passing, Musashi left us 21 principles. The Dokkōdō. These are timeless instructions for a well-lived life. Look closely at these rules, and one theme emerges above all others: focus. Focus is that singular, concentrated application of interest. For Musashi, it was the very core of his existence. What he called the way, a life of ceaseless practice. His writings show a life defined by restraint, sacrifice, discipline, a man utterly unmoved by fleeting pleasure. These virtues existed only to secure and support his focus. Especially in his periods of intense solitude, Musashi pursued one goal: the perfection of his skill, aiming for enlightenment through the way of the sword. This is a continuation of that journey, exploring the next 7 principles of the dokkodo, the path to ultimate focus. The interpretations here are drawn from existing philosophies, reasoned insights, and are offered as an inspiration for the life we live today. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. Separation takes many forms. It can be temporary, like travel. It can be permanent, like death. It can involve people, or simply objects, personal items, or wealth itself. For most of us, to be separated from what we love is the doorway to suffering. We cling to the object or the person. We feel an intense lack, believing that what has been taken belongs to us, that it is somehow part of who we are. In Buddhism, this idea of possession is seen as a profound delusion. We truly own nothing outside of our own thoughts. Even our bodies are not fully our own, for we do not fully control them. Musashi, as a ronin and a Buddhist, understood this delusion. He knew the burden of attachment. His path was one of solitude and practice. He simply could not afford to be halted by grief. Life is an endless series of farewells. All things come and go, people. Possessions, wealth, especially for a traveler, a ronin moving from place to place. Attachment to people he met or places he stayed would have meant continuous, paralyzing sorrow. Instead, he had to embrace the impermanent nature of all things, including the final conclusion that waits for every life: death. As he wrote in the Book of 5 Rings, the way of the warrior is the absolute, resolute acceptance of death. For the warrior, death is a constant shadow, the death of those he slays, of those who fight beside him, of those he failed to shield, and of course, the ever-present risk of his own demise. Musashi knew, better than most, that death awaits us all. By accepting this impermanence, we find an ease when we finally face it. Resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself nor others. People spend insane amounts of time simply resenting the world and complaining about their place in it. The traps of resentment and complaint are so easy to fall into. If you have a critical eye, if you have strong opinions on how life should be, there will always be something to complain about. But a continuous state of resentment means your focus is outward, on others, never inward, on yourself. For anyone dedicated to a life of ongoing practice, this outward focus is entirely detrimental. The world is beyond our control. People will constantly act against your ethics and values. They will behave foolishly. They will be ungrateful, rude. They will dislike you, try to interfere, treat you unjustly, or seek to take advantage. And beyond that, life itself is not fair. We are not given equal shares of the pie. We are not equally gifted, not equally healthy, not equally fortunate. To try and change this is a sincere human ideal, but it is one almost impossible to achieve. Nature itself will work against you. From a Buddhist perspective, we should limit our efforts to change the world. We must, above all, refrain from resenting what simply is. It is wiser, always, to focus on the self. Live the best life you can, while graciously accepting those who choose not to. Or, as the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius put it, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love. The ancient Greeks had many words for love. Selfless love was agape. Selfish love was eros. Musashi seems to be pointing directly at eros, the form of love, motivated by lustful desire, what Buddhists call romantic love. In many modern cultures, romantic love is now elevated to an ultimate concern, seen as a near-divine experience worthy of any sacrifice or pursuit. Musashi would not have endorsed this modern sacralization. It was likely due not just to the massive distraction that love and lust represent harming his progress as a swordsman, but because he was a Buddhist. They do not buy into this divine status. They are acutely aware of the dangers of being blindly guided by it. Like any intense emotion, love and lust can overcome us. But we retain the choice, whether or not we choose to engage with these feelings. Instead of being blindly enchanted by romance, it is wiser never to forsake our ability to think rationally. This keeps us grounded, keeps us focused on the path. When bewitched by lust and love, people make deeply unwise choices. Choices that ruin careers, violate personal boundaries, or lead to violence and even murder. In all things have no preferences. The problem with preferences is that they create a dependency on the external world. When we encounter something we prefer, we feel happy. When we encounter something we dislike or don't prefer, we feel disappointment. Since we have no say in what the environment presents to us, having preferences, hands outside circumstances, the ultimate power over our internal mood. Our tranquility, our equanimity, will rise and fall with the external world's preference. This is an inferior way to live. Musashi encountered countless people, objects, and situations. He had to keep a tranquil mind, so he wouldn't stray from his single purpose. Strong preferences would have destroyed his practice. It is wiser to check your preferences. Instead, embrace whatever fate overcomes you and make the very best of it. This way, you can never be wrong. The quality of your focus becomes independent of the result. Be indifferent to where you live. As a Ronin, Musashi wandered across Japan, staying in every conceivable place from castles to caves. But regardless of his dwelling, his way remained the unshakable center of his life. Today, people place immense emphasis on their living environment. They obsess over their homes, their neighborhoods, the very furniture they own. But when we become too attached to specific living conditions, anxiety follows the moment those conditions are threatened. If a living situation is genuinely unsafe, of course, you must leave. But often, the search for a new home is simple dissatisfaction. People become quickly bored or unhappy and believe moving will finally take that dissatisfaction away. The sense of fulfillment that follows a move is temporary, because wherever you go, you always take yourself with you. Satisfaction and dissatisfaction occur within, not without. At the end of the day, the location does not matter if you are content inside yourself. By being content with a simple home, no matter how small, you eliminate a major source of worry. You are more likely to stay focused on your true purpose. Do not pursue the taste of good food. Most people indulge in the simple pleasure of the tongue, the enjoyment of a good meal. They spend long evenings whining, dining, consuming course after course. But beware, foodies. This behavior carries a heavy cost. Miyamoto Musashi discourages the pursuit of good food. While his exact reasons are unstated, other philosophers offer insight. The ancient Stoics were concerned with food. They urged simple eating. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, noted that once people grow accustomed to expensive, elaborate meals, they stop appreciating simple foods. When appetites become oversaturated, we only crave more extravagant, stimulating ways to satisfy the pleasure of eating. Immoderate habits can quickly slide into gluttony, which inevitably leads to health problems. We might assume a glutton enjoys and appreciates food, but often the opposite is true. Voracious eaters and drinkers rarely take time to eat mindfully, with appreciation for the dish before them. Instead, they compulsively consume to find temporary relief from the pain of their food cravings. The wiser path is to eat mindfully. Eat in limited amounts. Train yourself never to give in to cravings. By doing this, your attachment to taste weakens, your cravings subside, and you are less likely to overeat. The true purpose of eating is nourishment. We need fuel to live and to thrive. Do not hold on to possessions you no longer need. Musashi understood the benefits of a minimalist life long before the term existed. His life as a Ronin did not lend itself to possessions. Traveling, staying in different places, fighting duels, perfecting his skill possessions would have been nothing but a constant burden. Beyond his 2 swords, he required only the absolute basics for survival and practice. Some people collect possessions, believing that the accumulation of material goods will increase their happiness. This might be true for a moment, but mostly, it only creates a hunger for more. Eventually, the more you own, the greater the weight you carry, until you become the servant of your possessions, and not the other way around. Clinging to belongings, just like the pursuit of more things, creates anxiety, the fear of losing what you have, and the fear of never getting what you want. But when you dedicate yourself to a higher purpose, when you can achieve deeper levels of happiness, the chase for material possessions simply loses its point. In Buddhism, when contentment is found in stillness without the need for external entertainment, like music or television, chasing possessions makes no sense at all. What it all comes down to is the ability to travel light, like the Ronin. You must shed every unnecessary burden so that you can focus entirely on what truly matters.